My name is Jen Bengal, and I am from Out of This World Literacy. I wanted to hop on Facebook Live tonight to let you all know that I'm going to be giving away some TPT gift cards and to let you ask me really anything that you want about literacy. I'll try my best to answer as many questions as I can and answer them as best as I can. While I'm waiting for people to hop on and pop their questions in here, I'm going to go ahead and just talk about a few things while people are joining. First off, just so you know, I'm giving away 4 gift cards live during this live broadcast. So to enter the gift card giveaway, all you have to do is ask me a question or leave a comment. And I'm also going to give away 4 more gift cards tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. So if you're watching this as a replay, that would be Valentine's Day at 8:30 in the morning Central Time. I'm going to give away 4 more gift cards to anyone who's asking comments or asking questions or leaving comments. So as you're joining, welcome. I see Kristen has already left a comment. Hi, Kristen. Great to see you on here. I wanted to talk really quickly about some of the things that I did today that I've been working on for a long time. I posted a bunch of new products today, just in time for the big TPT sale. It starts actually in a couple hours at 11 p.m. tonight. And I wanted to show them to you guys while you're asking your questions, and I figured maybe it'd take a little bit for some people to come on. So let me show you what I have that's new, that's just in time for the sale. The first thing that I have is reading lessons that build world citizens. And this is something that my daughter Malaya and I have been working on for many, many months. Malaya is the artist behind all of these illustrations, and we wrote 4 books. And I also created reading lessons to go along with each of the books. So you have 4 unique original books about adoption. So if you've ever had a student in your class that's been adopted or a student who's been through foster care, these books are really great to help build empathy and understanding with your other students to what those other children have gone through. So there are a bunch of discussion cards involved with the books. There's 4 custom mini books that come in different sizes, so you can have color and black and white. And there's a whole bunch of stuff inside of them. I've got actually a couple copies of the books right here. They're really awesome. And I see some people asking me questions. All right, awesome. Hi, Marsha. She said, love your daughter's drawings. Isn't she incredible? I mean, the one that really got me, let me see if I can find it. This book is the last one where it says Isaac Learns to Trust. This one really got me on the first page right here because he's at the orphanage and you can see the brick with the wire. I was just like, oh my goodness, this is so good to teach kids about different perspectives and what other people have experienced. So I just really love that she was sharing that. Hello, Amber. Great to see you on here. Let's see. Debbie says, I'm finding that my ELL students really need to develop their vocabulary as I'm using your intervention products. What do you have to offer in this area? That's a great question, Debbie. I actually have a vocabulary curriculum that I just finished. I cover grades 3 through 6. Each grade level has their own curriculum, and it's geared towards complete vocabulary instruction. You can do it in 15 minutes a day or even longer. It literally has everything you need. You can find that at teachvocab.com. And if you teach grades kindergarten, 1st, or 2nd, I teamed up with Miss DeCarbo over at Christina DeCarbo's store, and her vocabulary curriculum for grades K through 2 is at primaryvocabulary.com. So check that out. Those are really great resources. We actually have a school that's piloting the vocabulary curriculum this year, and we're getting tons of feedback on it. So teachvocab.com for grades 3 through 6 and primaryvocabulary.com for grades K through 2. Hi, Amanda. Amanda says, hey, what resources do you recommend for 6th graders who read on a 3rd grade level? Amanda, that's an awesome question because I know a lot of 6th graders are struggling with reading when they're significantly far behind like that. I would recommend using the intervention program. So the reading intervention program that I developed would be what I would look at. There is a free informational resource for the intervention program that will show you a chart of basically if they're 2 years behind, what grade level you're at, where you should kind of start to look at the reading levels for them. I've had so much feedback from the intervention program with middle school kids because one of the big concerns with kids at that age that is so far behind, the books that are at their instructional level are oftentimes really babyish and they don't enjoy them. with the intervention program, the passages are short, they're at their intervention or instructional level, and the kids are enjoying them. So you'll be able to make a lot of progress with them. That's what I would recommend. And the intervention program, if you go to my TPT store, which is just my name, Jen Bengal, and you click the banner at the top, that takes you to the entire intervention program. And everything is going to be on sale in just a couple hours. So you can start looking now, download the free resource, Amanda, and check that out. If you're just joining, people are leaving comments, asking questions to win a giveaway that I'm going to give away in just a minute. And even if you can't hang out live for the whole thing, I'm going to tag you if you win. So leave your comments, leave your questions. Jennifer, hi. Jennifer says, I love your work. Thank you. Thank you for the fluency lessons. I plan to buy the growing bundle. My question will probably be answered as you share it. What grades is it recommended for? Great question. And let me get to it. Let me pull that up. And actually, for the World Citizens, if you want to just, let me move your question down. It's for grades K2 through 6, sorry, Jennifer, which is what most of my stuff is for. But if you didn't want all the lessons with the World Citizens lessons that I created, you can just get the books. You can just purchase the Read Aloud books if you want to do read alouds about adoption. These are all amazing. So I did create those with just the books. You get 4 original books about international adoption in color and in black and white in 2 different sizes there. So that's available. The next product I put out today, does anyone use my mini units for mastery? I hope if you do, you're loving them because I love them so much. I'm making a whole nother set of 12. So that's out. I wanted to get the growing bundle out before the sale so you could get that discount. And the growing bundle has 1 set in it currently, which is facts and opinions, but you'll see the time frame of when the rest of the growing bundle will be done. So if you purchase the growing bundle during the sale, you get it at a significantly reduced price, actually the cheapest it ever really is. And then when the sets get added, you just go back into your My Purchases and you can download them then. There's no additional cost. That's kind of how a growing bundle works. So those mini lessons have, there's 5 mini lessons in each one of these little sets for a week-long intensive unit on a comprehension scale. This one happens to be fact and opinion. There's also note-taking pages where the kids can take notes during the lesson, which is really awesome because the learning then stays with them forever. You can glue those into their readers' notebooks, and that mini lesson becomes more than just a mini lesson that day, but it's something that they use over and over and over again. There's also graphic organizers and assessments in those resources. So those are all at miniunitsformastery.com. Or if you go to my TPT store, you can search the custom category for mini units and you'll see it there too. So for some reason, oh, there we go. That was going slow. The literacy centers that I have that go along with all my mini units, I have posted the one for facts and opinions. And also I posted a growing bundle to match the mini units. So if you wanted to get these growing bundles, if you use the mini units, those are all available now too, the bundle too, which is awesome. And inside of the literacy centers, you have time for the students to practice those skills you do in your whole group. They can practice them with any book that they're reading over and over and over again so that they're resurfacing and keeping those skills mastered throughout the year, not just learning it in one mini lesson in September and then it's May and they don't even remember what that was anymore. So they can practice the skills over and over with these literacy centers that go along with the mini units. And here's the big fluency growing bundle I posted today. This is really exciting. I'm really excited about this. This is a completely new resource. I actually made my binder for it today, and I have all the tabs. You can see the tabs. I have all of them inside of this resource too. So you have all the tabs. The one that's available now is for pausing. So the first set is pausing. There's 10 lessons in here. I'm very passionate about fluency, and this year I'm going to be doing a fluency webinar, and I'm going to be talking a lot about fluency. The first set here talks about pausing, and it breaks down pausing into 10 different mini lessons and gives the students opportunities to understand that when they're reading fluently, they're really comprehending. And if they're struggling with fluency, they're really struggling with meaning. And you go through exactly what readers do when they understand where to pause. And we go through semicolons, what semicolons look like. We go through parentheses, what those look like, why we should use them, what we should think as readers when we read things in parentheses. All of that stuff is in this bundle or in this set on pausing. So there's the set on pausing, and then there is also the bundle that's growing for this. This one also has passages. So I actually wrote a couple passages to go along with the lessons. You can see it's broken into 5 sections, which is really cool because this way, in the notes for the teacher, your directions are basically read section 1. So you have all of your mentor text for you provided in these fluency lessons too, which is awesome. Everything is in one spot. And all of these tabs that you see are included in the actual download. They're included in the set and in the bundle. Let's see. Nicole, hi, she said, these would be amazing resources to use as I have a student who has been struggling with being adopted. Yes, that's so great. You know, when my son first came home from Uganda, he was in kindergarten and nobody in his class knew what adoption was. They didn't understand interracial families. They didn't know, they couldn't understand how we were his parents because we were white and he was black, which is totally natural. But it was really great to be able to talk to them and educate them on what adoption is and what interracial families look like. And so all of those things are really important to teach our kids to grow world citizens. So they grow up and they learn empathy and they understand different perspectives and give kids who are adopted a voice in the classroom too. So these books are really important for me, especially because they are based on our family too. Oh, good, Brittany. Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. She said she just finished watching the vocabulary webinar and loved it. That's awesome. If you want to watch the vocabulary webinar, you have until Thursday at 11 p.m. Central. It's a flash webinar. You can watch it for free, and you can go to jenbengalwebinars.com, and you'll be able to click the button and just start watching the webinar. You can stop it. You can replay sections. I have all of my notes included, all of my completed notes. There's bonuses in there. So check out the vocabulary webinar. I forgot that I had that as a flash webinar going on right now. I'm glad you love it. Oh, thank you, Amy. She said, I love your vocabulary sets. My 5th graders are doing awesome with it. That's great. You're welcome, Debbie. I'm scrolling through trying to answer as many questions as I can. I'm going to pick a winner in just a minute. Let's see. Those drawings are so vibrant and colorful. Thank you, Amanda. I will let Malaya know. Nerese says, do you have fluency activities? So the fluency stuff that I just talked about is what I have. And that is in my TPT store. If you search by the latest products, you'll see it right away. And I also made a category, a custom category in my TPT store for fluency. So you can get to those. You don't have to search through all of my resources there. Let's see. Nicole said, I'm also loving your vocabulary lessons. Thank you, Nicole. My 4th graders are gaining so many new words in their vocabularies. They can use words like assume and endeavor with ease. That's so awesome. I love that. And that's when you know the learning is really happening, when they're actually owning the words. And that's what I spent a couple of years researching before I even wrote the vocabulary curriculum, to make sure that what I developed was something that they can actually take ownership of and actually apply into their oral language and into their reading, into their writing, and their life. So that's awesome feedback. Thank you, Nicole. Let's see, Brittany, I'm going to answer this one question, and then I'm going to pick a winner, and I'll answer one more, pick a winner. We'll just kind of go back and forth like that. Brittany said, hello, I was also wondering what you suggest to help my students understand literature better, especially that the grade 3 reading literature standard 3. They consistently score better with nonfiction, even though we work so often in literature. Brittany, I think I have a solution for you. I am actually going to be starting to come out with books, interactive read aloud books, where I give you teacher language on every page that you can use to engage your students in discussion about the literature. So what I'm doing is I'm creating, of course, Malaya is illustrating them. And the first one is about a boy named Miguel, who's a migrant farmer in a family that moves from Mexico to Wisconsin every year. And he struggles finding books in his school in Wisconsin. And throughout the read aloud, I have little boxes on every page for the teacher with instructions of what to say, how to direct the instruction, so that you can have these deep, rich conversations around literature and have everybody actively participating in this interactive read aloud. Interactive read alouds are the heart of my reading and writing workshops. So I'm really excited to be launching these books, and not only just put out read alouds, but give you teacher language and how you can create opportunities for your students to develop higher level thinking skills and really be self-reflective, analyzing, using the metacognition skills that they so importantly need to know to have conversations around literature. So watch for those to be coming out. I don't have them out yet, but the first one should be coming out potentially by the end of this week. I'm waiting for Malaya to finish a couple of art pages and then they should be ready. That's a great question. So let me pick a winner. So the first winner, thank you guys for all of your questions. Oh my goodness, this is awesome. Okay, so the first winner is going to be Skylar. Skylar, wonderful. Skylar, you won a $10 gift card to TPT. So what I'm gonna have you do is email me. You can send me an email at my name, which is Jen Bengal. Just remember, has all E's, JenBengel, the number 5 at gmail.com. And just say, I won, and I will email you back your gift card. So congrats, Skylar. We're gonna do 3 more real quick here. Let's see, let me find a question and then I'll pick a winner. Cassandra, great question. I think she said, hi Jen, I love your intervention program. I use it with my intervention kids from 2nd grade through 7th grade. That's great. What do you have in a way of comprehension for 4th through 7th grades? I'm really struggling to find resources for my kids that are a year or so behind for an intervention setting. Okay, so I have so much for comprehension, Cassandra. If you're talking whole group instruction for comprehension, or even like a small group, whole group, if you're seeing a small group and doing a lesson with them together, I would recommend the mini units for mastery. Those are really in-depth comprehension lessons that will help you, give you teacher language and help you really build those comprehension skills with the kids. What's great about them at those levels too, it would be perfect because you're going to be able to have conversations based on what the students know and what they don't know. So you'll be able to really adapt it to their ability level. It's not like a cookie cutter one size fits all type of program, because what you're going to do is you're going to use books that you read with your class or your group as your anchors for the lesson. So depending on what interests them, what abilities they're at, you can use whatever books you're using with them. You can even use the intervention program passages as mentor text examples when you go through them. So check those out. That's what I would recommend. If you're talking about literacy center type work, I do have comprehension work for literacy centers too. And you can see those when you go to my TPT store. If you type in literacy centers on the left side, or you look in that category, you'll see those there too. But mini units would be my first thing I would think would be good for you. And that's mini units for mastery.com, and the 4 is FOR. Okay, so let me pick another winner. I'm gonna close my eyes. The next winner is Nicole. Nicole, you won the 2nd gift card live. Now I'm gonna pick 2 more, and that means that if you're watching the replay, you can still comment and you'll have a chance to win one of 4 more before tomorrow morning. So congrats, Nicole. Let me see. Where am I? Good question. Rhonda has a good question. Rhonda says, I am using your 5th grade vocabulary and I have a few students that continue to struggle because they read at a low 3rd grade level. Would it be better to modify the number of vocabulary words on 5th grade level or provide them with their reading level, 3rd grade for vocabulary? That's a really good question. So the vocabulary curriculum is the words that you give your students every week that you practice are divided into tier 1 and tier 2 words. What I might do at first, Rhonda, my gut instinct for you, instead of going and getting a whole nother 3rd grade level, is I would focus on the tier 1 words with those students and maybe do just 1 or 2 tier 2 words, modify that list for those few kids who are struggling to just 1 or 2 tier 2 words instead of 6, because every week in the vocabulary curriculum, you have 6 tier 2 words. And tier 2 are words that are probably a little bit difficult for them, that they're going to challenge them. The tier 1 words, they'll probably be more comfortable with and see more often at that level. So that's what I would do. If I were you, I would try modifying that way first. And then if that still doesn't work, then maybe you do need to take a look at a different level for those kids who are still struggling. But that's what I would try. All right, so I'm going to pick my 3rd winner for the webinar or the gift card giveaway. And Vanessa, you won the 3rd gift card live. Congrats, Vanessa. And remember, if you are a winner, to just email me at JenBengal, number 5 at gmail.com, and I will send you your gift card so you can shop during the sale. Okay, let me find one more question, and then I will pick the last winner for tonight. I'm glad, Amy, that you said the vocabulary webinar was very useful. Yes, those webinars are so useful because it really just lays out exactly how you can do everything in a really practical way. Let's see, Christy. Christy said, what can I do with students who continue to make mistakes even after instruction, reading words that have similar letters? So Christy, there's a lot of things you can do with that, and I totally understand what you're saying. It depends on, to me, what grade level you're working with, and if you're talking about decoding, maybe if there's, I'm not sure with the specific students, is there some dyslexia going on with mixing up words and their vision? Have they had their vision checked? Are all of those factors kind of play in there? But some things, what I do, especially like at home for me with my son, he's still struggling to read. We're working actually with the intervention program with him. And what I will do is he likes to try and memorize stories instead of actually decode and read words. So I will, as he's reading a passage in his instructional levels, I will pull out words and put them on little flashcards. Actually, got them right behind me right there, but I'll put them on little flashcards. So I have him practice words within the context of a passage, but then I also have him practice them in isolation to ensure that he's actually decoding those words and he's using his magic tricks that we talk about in phonics to be able to understand and apply new words and not just read them, but read them with automaticity. So that might be something you can try. If you're seeing them struggling with words in the context of a passage, try pulling them out and just writing them on Post-it notes or on little cards. I just use cardstock and cut it up to make flashcards of those words that are specific to them struggling with, and go back and forth with isolation and context. And that's really been helping Jonah a lot. So I don't know if that's something that might help for your kids too. Let's see, let me pick, close my eyes. This is the last winner live, and then I'm going to pick 4 more before tomorrow at 8:30, I'm sorry. Let's see, Amy Wilcox, you are the 4th, sorry, winner. So Amy, congrats. So I have Skylar, Nicole, Vanessa, and Amy for the gift card giveaway tonight. And then tomorrow at 9:30 or 8:30 a.m., I'm gonna tag 4 more people that have commented on this thread. So feel free to continue asking comments. I'm going to go through and try and answer as many as I can. When I get off, I'll try and text or comment as well. I'm seeing, let's see. Hi, Sophia. She said, hello, Jen. I love your webinars, but I am from Greece and it's too late usually for me, but I try to stay awake. Oh, hello, Sophia from Greece. That's amazing. Well, the good thing about the Flash webinars, Sophia, I don't know if you know this, but the reason I started doing Flash webinars is because of all the teachers that are in Australia, South Africa, Malaysia, Greece, Singapore, that were messaging me saying, I can't stay up. That's a really bad time for me. So I created a Flash webinar where you have 48 hours to watch it. So you can watch it during your daytime while we're sleeping. That's really cool too. And that's one of the big reasons that I did that. So you can go to jenbengalwebinars.com and you can watch the vocabulary webinar now all the way until Thursday. So when it's morning for you or when it's convenient for you, you can watch it. You can stop it, watch part of it now, part of it later. Just as long as you get able to watch it before Thursday, you're good to go. Lynn said, what grades is the reading fluency lessons work for? I recommend grades 2 through 6 for the reading fluency, the new stuff that came out. Jennifer said, for the vocabulary curriculum, do you recommend purchasing set 1 first, or is it okay to start with set 2 or set 3? The way Christina and I designed the curriculum was we put it in 4 sets, ideally so that would be quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. There's 8 weeks in each set because we figure you're not going to do a curriculum at the beginning of the year or the last week of school, or there's always that holiday. So we made them 8 weeks for each set. I would recommend going in the order that they are because the words actually do get more difficult, But if you were starting at this time of the year with your grade level, you could start with set 3 or set 4 even. But when you start at the beginning of the school year, I would recommend starting with set 1 because they do get a little bit more progressive as the year goes on for each grade level in their level of difficulty. Nicole said, yay, I finally won. I'm glad you won. Cassandra too, and hi Skylar, you too. Let's see. Good question, Amy. She said, in your intervention products, you have a space for 3 running records for that 1 reading. Is it useful to complete a running record on a text they have already read and worked with? Great question. So that space is there because most of you know when you use the intervention program, it's designed to be very flexible. There's a lot of different ways you can use it. The reason I put 3 spaces to do running records is mostly I use those for my tier 3 intervention students. Those kids that I'm seeing one-on-one that need weekly progress monitoring and need a lot of support. They're 2 years behind grade level, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years behind grade level. What I do with those is if I'm seeing a tier 3 student, I will have the student, I will give an introduction, talk about the title, maybe debug a couple of words, and then I will have the student read it as a cold read to me after they finish, which only, because it's short, every level range is on 1 page, so it's really short, which is great. So they can finish it in a couple of minutes. We talk about some of the mistakes that they made, and then I have them read it again, and then we talk again, and I show them how they're doing and how much time it's taking them, and so on and so forth. And when they read it the 3rd time, then we talk about how much better they did from the 1st read all the way to the 3rd read. It's very important with these kids who are really struggling to build their confidence and for them to see even the smallest of gains and progress that they're making as readers. It's a great start to building their progress or their confidence. So that's the main reason I use those 3 reads. If I'm doing a running record on a student and I just want to get 1 quick running record, I won't even do it 3 times. I'll just have 1. But for those tier 3 kids, that's why that is there. So I would recommend giving an introduction, doing it as a cold read 3 times, and I would recommend doing it 3 times in a row. It takes about 10, 12 minutes. And that way, you can immediately have all these teachable moments for the student to see their progress, to talk about what's working for them as readers and what's not, what you need to give them a little tip on. So that's kind of what I would say for that. Gwen, I'm glad you're excited about the fluency. I am really excited about that one too. Allison said, I absolutely love these. I struggled with actually trying to get with my students one-on-one time. Yes, that can be a challenge. I always love having any type of aide or volunteer that come in. I have them use the intervention program because I can train them really quickly with it. It's super easy. And then I can get my kids an extra dose of reading too. Jennifer said, what was your favorite subject to teach? It's funny because it changed. It used to first be reading and doing read alouds, which I still absolutely love. But then once I discovered how to teach writing, actually how to do it, writing became my favorite subject because I got to really know my students and I got to see them explore their craft of writing and their creativity and see what was really something they were passionate about. One of my favorite things was watching struggling writers or reluctant writers actually start writing. I loved when I figured out all the tricks to teaching them writing. I loved every year watching them go from I don't want to write to like mad when time was up in writing class because they wanted to keep writing more. So writing is my favorite right now all time. Their fluency, how do I do this better? We did most whole group. Allison, great question. So I'm going to be doing that fluency webinar. I've got 4 webinars coming out this summer, 1 on fluency, 1 on read alouds, 1 on literature circles, and 1 on readers theater, which I'm really excited about all of those. But back to your question, I teach the students about fluency in a whole group setting and then give them opportunities in graphic organizers to practice their fluency, finding things that make them fluent readers in the books that they're reading. I also have small group opportunities for them to talk about fluency as well. But every time I talk about fluency, I talk about comprehension. Because it's really important to understand that when students are struggling with fluency, it doesn't mean that it's just a fluent problem. It's actually really the heart of that is a comprehension problem. A lot of people think that fluency means reading fast, and being a fluent reader means you have to read fast. And that's really not at all what fluency is about. It's about comprehension. So in the lessons that I develop for fluency, I talk a lot about fluency and what makes a fluent reader, but we talk about why and how is that important and how does it change the meaning of the text and how does it make us have a deeper understanding of what we're reading when we become more fluent. So definitely check those out. Good, Debbie. She said the webinars being available for a few days is very beneficial. Funny, I had a vocabulary question and I hadn't paid attention to the flash webinar this week is about vocabulary. Looking forward to it. Oh, good. Yeah, go watch that. It's free to watch until Thursday night. Let's see. Denise said, peace. Hi, peace, Denise. Love the intervention guided reading. Is this meant to be standalone reading resource for guided reading? Okay, so there's the intervention program, which is meant to be like for small group instruction, for tier 2 intervention, tier 3 intervention, advanced intervention, kids who are advanced and you need to challenge them. So it's not meant for a whole group instruction. And the whole group instruction is where I would do like my mini units for mastery or my units of study. And then the guided reading resources that I have are for specifically just for guided reading. So I have the whole group instruction, which is either a unit of study or a mini unit. And then I have my intervention program, which I use for reteaching or for extra reading practice at their instructional levels in a variety of different ways. If you haven't watched the intervention webinar on 12 ways to use it, watch for that flash webinar coming. You're going to want to watch that one. And then the guided reading resources are strictly just for my small group guided reading lessons. Deborah says, how much time would you spend on vocabulary? I have a hard time doing it in only 15. Yeah, so the minimum is 15. If your kids are more active and chatty and you're having a lot more conversation, then it can definitely go beyond 15 minutes. It depends on your schedule. It depends on your students' needs. I would say if you spend 15 to 20 minutes on it, then you're covering at least the bare bones. If you spend a half hour on it, you can go a little bit deeper. But I don't know if you would necessarily need to spend more time on it than that. You can certainly have them do things independently. So you could have a vocabulary literacy center where you talk about a lot of the core with your whole class, but then they do some of the activities from the program, from the curriculum in their center, in their vocabulary center. You can do something like that too, or you can send some stuff home with them too. Vanessa said, I have so many of your products in my TPT cart, hard to decide what to pick tomorrow. Yes, I know. Don't forget to type in the coupon code too. The coupon code is XOXO. And that you need to make sure that you type in, otherwise you won't get the 25%. You'll only get the 20%. Debbie says, on a running record, if a student makes a mistake and continues to make the same mistake all the way through the running record and you haven't corrected them, help them, do you count the mistake each time? What if it's just a name? What if they say the word the same way incorrectly each time? Great question, Debbie. If it's a name, you count it as one error. So if it's a name like Miguel, for example, the character that's in my read aloud, if they say Miguel's name wrong and his name is in the passage 8 times, you only count it as one error. If they say a common word wrong, like say they pronounce the word want, they keep saying wait over and over again instead of want, I would mark that as one error as well. But if they keep saying the word want incorrectly in different ways, I would mark it incorrect each time. So if they said wait, where, wanting, and they keep saying it differently wrong, then I would count it different every time. Good question. Okay, I'm going to take one more question here. Terrell said, if I can only buy one vocabulary unit this year, which one set should I get? Is there an order to them? Yes, so there is an order. Set 1 would be the one that I would recommend because that's basically how you would start the year out. But then set 2 gets a little bit more difficult. Set 3 and set 4 all kind of follow the quarters. So quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. I do have another option with payment plans that's actually going to have the same coupon code working the next couple days. I have another site that I sell on where you can actually purchase bundles with payment plans and get the discount. So it's a pretty sweet deal. That site is called Teachable, and my store there is jenbengal.teachable.com. And if you go there, when you see all of my bundles, you can actually choose like to pay for something over 3 months or 4 months or 5 months, and you can still use the coupon code XOXO and get a 25% off discount. So if you wanted to if you wanted the whole vocabulary curriculum, but you can't afford it all even with the discount, you can go to jenbengal.teachable.com and pay for it over 3-4 months with the discount. So it's like you're getting the whole thing and stretching it out over several months. So that's an option for teachers as well. I just want to let you know about that. Okay, so keep commenting. I will pick 4 more winners at 8:30 in the morning. I'm going to go check my email and see if Skylar and Nicole and Vanessa and Amy have emailed me yet. Take care, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with me. Don't forget to enjoy the TPT sale. Happy Valentine's Day. Do something sweet for yourself tomorrow. And I will talk to you again soon in another Facebook Live. Take care. Good night, everyone.